Hello everyone, my name is Reverend Dr. Renee Hart. I am an independent minister. I am a licensed practitioner for Center for Spiritual Living in Redlands. Our minister is Reverend Carrie. And so today we're going to do meditation on this beautiful Sunday morning. So as we sit comfortably in our chairs, we move in our hands, moving your head from side to side, and just relax. Just open up that heart space. And knowing right at the core center of your being, God is. God is moving in you, through you, and all around you as I speak. So as we sit comfortably, relax, going into the heart space, feeling the presence of God's Spirit moving through every cell of your body. With each breath, it's God's breath breathing through you as you. So take that breath and breathe. Knowing that God is all that there is. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. Breathe that in. Take that breath and breathe. Breathe again. Relax and take another breath. And as we take that breath, we're knowing that that's God's breath moving through us and all around us. Bringing our awareness back into this holy space. This space is a space that God has made. And so as we take this breath, bringing your awareness back into this room, back into your space, and knowing that that space you can visit it any time. That pure space, that innocence, that loving, high vibration space that's within you. So as we take this breath, just bring your awareness back into the room, moving your head from side to side. Moving your fingers, 1, 2, 3, fully present, fully alert, and knowing God is right where you are. Know that you are loved. You are appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your day, this beautiful Sunday morning, knowing that you are loved. Namaste.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together in the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in a sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together, yeah, we come together. Oh, we come together, the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other, yeah. Now look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, yeah, we come together. Oh, we come together in the name of love. We come together, yeah, we come together. Oh, we come together in the name of, yeah, we come together. Oh, we come together, yeah, we come together in the name of, yeah, we come together. We come together, we come together in the name of love.
Hello, I am Edward Follieu. This month's suggested theme is Inclusion in Action. And the topic for this week is colorblind or colorful. Now you may have heard the phrase, I don't see color. Some people say that meaning to refer to the oneness of all life. And here is another way to think about it. It comes from the content providers for this week's suggested theme, the Diversity Inclusion Commission of Centers for Spiritual Living. Can you imagine looking at a beautiful garden that has flowers with many different colors, textures, and heights, but you're not able to see all of the variations in color because you are blind to the variety? You can't see the colors. Now imagine instead, not only seeing all the colors that our eyes are capable of seeing, but enjoying them and being interested and curious about them, because after all, they are created by the divine. Though the idea of color blindness might be considered as inclusive, I invite you to consider this, that to see and appreciate color is to truly see and appreciate people for who they are. I think this is the meaning of the statement from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, that unity and uniformity are not the same thing. Our different life experiences make us different from each other. And that is worth celebrating and exploring. We live in a world that is abundantly diverse, with each of us expressing the divine in our own colorful way. So here are 3 ideas I invite you to consider this week. Number 1, oneness is not sameness. Number 2, diversity is the natural state of creation. And number 3, we are connected with those who are different. It's a common idea in our world today that if someone doesn't believe or think the way we do, or doesn't look the way we look, that we can't possibly be connected to them. And so a possible call to action this week might be this. If we are interested in embodying oneness, let us try being in conversation with people who have different worldviews, and to engage in those conversations with the intention to truly listen and to take in and to appreciate the differences. Because in that kind of being open, we get a glimpse of what oneness really is. My blessings to you.
I have a few announcements for all of us this morning, a few reminders, basically. I want to remind all of us that immediately following this service is our fellowship time. We meet in our Zoom room, and we just get together to chat, visit, find out how we're each doing. And it's also a fun time to just see other faces in our center. So if you're new to us and you would like to see who's here, we would love to have you in the Zoom room after service every Sunday. So it's not a long time and you can come and go as you wish. And bring your lunch or some munchies. We're happy to have you no matter what. And then on Wednesday evening from 7 to 8 p.m., join us on Facebook Live for our Wednesday night service. This is a meditation service followed by some words of wisdom from one of our practitioners. Our practitioners are very powerful, and Dr. Renee has been doing an excellent series on brotherly love on Wednesday nights. So I invite you to join us on Facebook Live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. And then on Thursday morning at 10:30 a.m. on Zoom, we are starting our book club, and our book club has decided to study The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, and we're going to be looking at chapter 1 this coming Thursday. So if you have the book, read that first chapter, The Thing Itself, and then come with your questions or your comments or your insights or aha. This book is filled with so much truth that every time you read it, you might have a new insight. If you're new to us, you are welcome in this book club. Every Thursday morning, 10:30 till around noon. See you there. And looking a little bit ahead, on August 30th, our own brother Mark is going to be the guest speaker, and Cahill and Deline are going to be the guest musicians. This will be a wonderful Sunday, and I know Brother Mark is always very inspirational, and we love the music of Cahill and Deline, so make sure that you join us on Sunday, August 30th on Facebook Live. Thank you for attending our service today. We're so happy that you're with us.
So let's just get ready and let's just breathe right now. So let's take that breath and we're going to breathe. Take another breath and breathe. On this beautiful Sunday morning. So as we take this breath, we're knowing in this very moment, it's God's breath moving through us right now. So as we take this God breath, we breathe in, knowing that God is all that there is. Knowing that God is perfection in form. God is harmony. God is love. Let's breathe that in. God is infinite intelligence. Breathe. And in this, I know that I am one with God. So that I know we are one with the universal presence that's moving in us and through us and all around us as I speak. And so as we breathe in and knowing the oneness with God, that creator that's within us right now, creating through us as us. So today is a powerful day because today is the day that God has made. So as we take this breath, we breathe. We're breathing in the moment. So as we take that God breath, we are breathing in love, peace, joy, perfect wholeness. So as we take this breath, we breathe in knowing this is our truth. And as we know this is our truth for ourselves, we know this truth is for our families. And then for the world, as we take that breath, we breathe. And we're knowing God is at the core center of it all. Sending the highest vibration of love to Gaia, to Gaia, Mother Earth. Sending the highest vibration of love, loving light energy for the world. So as I know this for President Trump, of the highest vibration of love. I know this for all the politicians. I know this for all the doctors and nurses and the people that's behind the scenes, the firefighters, all of them. Knowing God is at the core center of it all. Knowing that God is moving through each and every one in a state of perfection, in a state of love. And anything is not of that truth in this very moment is released and send it back to the nothingness where it comes from. Because in this moment, we're speaking of nothing but pure energy of love and light for humanity. So as we take that breath, we breathe. Breathe in again. And as we know this truth for Center for Spiritual Living in Redlands, we know that's truth for every center for spiritual living, every church, knowing God is right where we are. And in this truth, I give thanks for knowing this to be the truth. I give thanks for harmony. I give thanks for peace. I give thanks for joy. I give thanks for humanity. I give thanks for freedom of speech. I give thanks for it all because I know God is moving through every living thing. And in this, I give thanks for all of this and so much more. And in this, I just release my words into the universal law. I know that it is perfect and I know that it's complete. And if you all are in agreement with this prayer, we will say, and so it is. Amen. Namaste.
Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? We all know that people are the same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone. But we learn to live when we learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together a life, ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone, but we learn to live when we learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive, ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? Side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? Side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we?
Good morning. Happy Sunday. Today I'm coming to you from our Center for Spiritual Living in Redlands, California. I'm standing in our beautiful Inner Wisdom Library. We have a wealth of reading material here, and once we are open again, we'll all be able to browse these wonderful books once again. Today we are continuing our series on inclusive action. And today, the title of my talk is Colorblind or Colorful. We're going to be looking at those two terms and see how we would rather live. Oftentimes when we are talking about other races, other people of color, we might hear someone say, "Oh, I'm colorblind. I don't see color. I just see the person." Okay, we're going to talk about just that today. You see, the idea of colorblindness might be an inclusive one, and it might be a noble idea. It almost smacks of superiority by the one saying it. But in order for it to be imbued with positive intentions, the impact of color blindness is that you don't truly see the whole person for who they are, where they are in this moment. You see, we need to consider the impact of the words that we say. And saying that we're colorblind might have an impact to the person we're talking about or with in a negative way. Our different life experiences make us different from each other, obviously. And the concept of colorblindness excludes those differences. You see, we are like the garden that we plant with all sorts of vegetation. Think of it, there's fruits and vegetables, and there's bushes and flowers and greenery. And it's all beautiful in our garden. And in that garden, we see all the beautiful colors and all the beautiful differences and variances in every plant that's there. But if we decide to be colorblind to our garden, then what we see is sameness. Oh, it's just a plant. Oh, it's just a tree. It's just a fruit. It's just a vegetable. Everything has a difference, and that's the diversity of our universe. I was married to someone once who said, my first husband, who told me that he did not want to go visit Bouchard Gardens in Victoria, Canada, because, he said, it's just one great big flower bed. Could be. It is a beautiful garden of all of these beautiful colors, and all the richness of life is right there in any garden. It doesn't have to be as fancy as Bouchard Gardens. You see, we live in a world that is abundantly diverse, and each of us is expressing the divine in our own colorful way, just like all of the plants in the garden express all of the colors of the divine, all of the diversity of the divine, right where they are. In religious science, we teach that each person is unique, a unique expression of God that has sacred worth. Every vegetable in our garden, every flower in our garden is a unique expression of God and has sacred worth. So do we, each one of us, no matter who we are or what color we are. We have sacred worth because we are divine creations of the One, that infinite energy that is God. There's a wonderful idea out there that says that if we have inclusion in our life, then any discussion around efforts at inclusion might not include a serious and open discussion of color blindness, including the many ways that the realities of this intersect. You see, when we say that we are colorblind, we are ignoring the specialness and the uniqueness of all people of color, including white people, folks. We're discounting their uniqueness. And discounting another person is not where we want to be. It's not how we want to express. And so it is important for us to value diversity, to value the multiplicity of the one life that is God. You know, when we do say that we're colorblind and we say that we don't see color of another person, and we're being a bit sanctimonious and trying to be spiritual about it, what we're doing is having a moment of spiritual bypass, where we just bypass the truth, which is that the person of color is a person of God, is the divine emanation of God. We need to understand and develop our understanding of all of the differences around us so that we can develop oneness in a greater way. And if we don't, we will continue on the path that we've been on for all of these centuries, kind of drifting toward all of the people who look like us. Now, I know that when we're a newbie in a situation, going into a social event or a church, whatever it may be, we tend to look for people who look like us. It's human nature. We want like attracts like. We want to be with our like people. But what if we embrace diversity in such a way that we wanted to connect with people who don't look like us, with people who don't act like us? What if we wanted to embrace diversity so much that we sat down to really understand people and get to know them on a good, deep, sound level, and really see that they really are that divine oneness that's expressing as diversity on this planet. Oh, what if we did that? When we do that, we are embracing all of life. When we look at our garden, we might see plants that we don't like as much as we like another plant. We might say that cactus aren't as beautiful as roses. Yeah, that's true. But what if we took the love that we have for those roses and expressed that love toward the cactus plant? Everything is alive, folks. Everything has a vibration. And what if we express the love that we have for people who are like us, express that love to people who are not like us? What if we did that? Wow. You see, we could raise our vibration so that we are more deeply understanding and loving everyone of every color, size, shape, ethnicity, whatever. We are loving God in all of its forms. In a garden, every plant needs its own particular way to thrive and grow. Needs a proper pH balance in the soil. Some plants need a dry soil and some needs a more moist soil. Some need sun, some need shade, and all need sound nutrients. And so all of these plants, being so different, might need a different mixture of all of the things that need to happen in order for them to grow. This garden is the same as the garden of people in our life, the garden of people around our planet. If we realized that every person needs a particular smile or a word, or if we allowed those smiles and those words to just shine through us as God shines through us, those people might tend to grow and thrive in a greater way. It is so important for us to recognize that we are the ones who bring that vibrational energy to another to allow them to grow and thrive throughout their life on this earth. Nature loves to show us its diversity in all of the forms and expressions of this life. And you see, in this life, science has discovered that there is light within all life. Yes, there is a light at the center of every cell. There's a light at the center of all life in the universe. And this light, I firmly believe, is the light of spirit. And this light can shine more brightly if we allow ourselves to nurture that light within us and within other people. It is the same for people who have different behaviors, and they might work with a person, and that person might positively respond to those behaviors if they allow themselves to know that the expression of God that they are is perfect and whole and expressing and shining through. We're all the same biologically speaking, but we all need different ways to help us grow and thrive and blossom into the beautiful flower that we are. Treating people the same dishonors that difference that there is between people. Whereas treating people equitably as equals, then that demonstrates our appreciation and the fact that we value their beauty and the gifts that they bring. Yeah. Our very differences serve as the catalyst or the conduit through which an authentic relationship can form. We might find that our differences enhance our connection to another. Yeah, they do. It's not to say that we don't have many things in common, but we can also deepen in that relationship and in that intimacy between us when we recognize, embrace, and know that the differences that there are meant to be there. They are God expressing uniquely. It's a common theme in our world today that if someone doesn't behave or think or even look like we do, they couldn't possibly be connected to us. We feel separated from them because they're different from us. People who disagree tend to draw lines in the sand and they won't hear out the other person's point of view. People with differing worldviews might not even get together to have lunch or share a coffee. And even those who hang out or befriend another person of a different religion or a political stance or a philosophical point of view, sometimes when we hang out with those people, others might say that we're watering down our own beliefs by hanging out with them. Excuse me? No, that is not correct. What we are doing is embracing those people and embracing our ability to understand and love them, to understand their point of view and to really dig into what it is they believe and what it is they feel about the current political situation. And even if they don't agree with what we feel, we can still have a relationship with them that is forever growing and thriving. And sometimes those relationships fade away and we move away from those people. But the richness of our life is increased when we allow ourselves to really be a part of their world for as long as it takes for us to feel rich and abundant. Our call to action this week, our spiritual practice for this week, is to allow ourselves to be fully present with someone who is not like us. You can find them everywhere, but I invite you to be a part of someone's universe who, and that person doesn't look or act or talk or even wear clothes like you do. And just be with them where they are in their journey of life. Love them, be loving and kind to them, even if their viewpoints are different from yours. And if they're not, you can embrace how they feel about the common point of view that you might have. That's your only spiritual practice this week. Speak with someone who is different than you are. You'll find them everywhere. And simply have a loving, compassionate, joyful, expressive conversation with them. And just invite them into your world for a little while and accept them for who they are in this moment, on this journey, on their life path. What will happen is your vibration will rise, and you will be able to do that more and more and more And what happens when this happens is that the vibration of humanity also rises. Because what one of us does, all of us do. All of us are embraced in this vibration that we create. And so it's our task this week and the days ahead to simply raise our vibration of knowledge, of understanding, of inclusion, and allow ourselves to be fully embraced and fully embracing in the love that is the divine. I would like to read a quote so that you can hear what Ernest Holmes says. He wrote this in Lessons in Spiritual Healing in 1943. It says, "Our whole endeavor is to personalize the impersonal. That is, to individualize the creative spirit." We're individualizing God. Okay, he says, while we cannot think of God as an infinite person, that is, as a being with any limitation whatsoever, we should think of the creative spirit as the infinite being in whom all personality is rooted. Wow. Thus, each is continuously individualizing God, the divine spirit, and thus also each is individually using the law of cause and effect. Now, I think this is pretty profound because the law of cause and effect says that we put something in motion by a decision that we make, and then an effect occurs, cause and effect. We are using this law all the time, and we're using this law when we bring ourselves into the world, into the universe of another being who doesn't look like us, and we get to know who they are. Yeah. In the Bible, let me get it. In the Bible, in Galatians, I've lost my place in that. There is a phrase in Galatians, chapter 3, verse 8. I don't have the complete quote right here because I lost my place. But that's okay. What it's really saying is this. It does not support colorblindness. Instead, it promises that regardless of what our social or ethnic or racial identities are, we are incorporated in God, in Christ consciousness. Our natural social identities are transformed by Spirit. Yes, indeed they are. I have an affirmation for us today. The words will be on your screen so that all of us can read them together. The nature of God's great creation is one of diversity. I am not colorblind. I see the colorful, wonderful, and mystical variances that are expressed uniquely as each of us. And so it is.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. and I think to myself, what a wonderful world, yeah. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day and a dark sacred night. And I think to myself, yes, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of the people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, yes, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of those people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, well, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, yes, what a wonderful world. I said I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes.
Hello, my name is David Torrey. I do sound mixing and video editing for CSL Redlands, and I'm a member of CSL Redlands because I really appreciate and value the teaching of the science of mind. I really like that you can bring whatever spiritual practice you already have to this. This really is a set of tools that you can use and see the results in your everyday life. I also see a lot of wisdom in this community, from the minister to the practitioners to the members. And I'm meeting a lot of loving, caring people that are really compassionate and have offered me guidance, whether it's in person or in a Zoom room. It's also really convenient to be able to watch any of our services through YouTube or Facebook. And particularly during this time of COVID-19, they've been very helpful to me with my brother who has schizoaffective disorder. And I've noticed that whenever he's having an episode, I can put on like one of the guided meditation that's really helpful to him. I've noticed an incredible transformation in how calm he is after we've done this. Especially now, I feel enormous gratitude and I feel very close to this community.
And now it's time for us to joyfully and lovingly give our gifts, our tithes, and our offerings to the place where we receive our spiritual nourishment. For when we give back to our source, we receive all the abundance of our source once again. And the giving and the receiving continues. It's a continuous flow. When we give consciously, we're giving from that place of unconditional love and a place of knowing that as we give, we are blessed abundantly. I know that each one of you who will be giving today or who have already given are deeply blessed by your gift, and we are deeply blessed by the gifts you give. As you give your gifts today, please know that we carefully take care of the gifts that we have received, and we apply them to all of the financial obligations that our center incurs. We're very careful. Our Board of Trustees is diligent in caring for our finances, and every offering that comes in is deeply appreciated. So today we're going to speak our offering affirmation together. The words will be on your screen. And so I'm going to invite you to hold your offering in your hand if you have it today, or imagine it's there and hold it over your heart. And then let's pray these words together. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. We've come to the time in our service for our closing healing prayer. So I invite you to close your outer eyes and join me as we turn within to recognize the divine presence that is God, to recognize that unconditional love that is the infinite life throughout the universe. And I know that this life is perfect unconditional love. It is perfect peace, divine harmony, absolute health, wholeness, perfection. And I know that each one of us is created from that image and likeness. We are each one with that presence and power that is the very truth within us. And I know that this presence and power is that life force that beats our heart and breathes our breath. I know for each one of us this day that the presence of the divine is right where we are. We are infilled with this presence. We are surrounded by this presence. We are uplifted by this presence, and I know that this presence and power allows us to see more clearly the beauty and the diversity in our universe. And I know for each one of us that we are held in wholeness. The wholeness that is the truth of us comes shining forth, and we are whole and perfect and complete, free of dis-ease and discomfort. I know that we are each surrounded by a beautiful white light that protects us and surrounds us and infills us and allows us to be free and unafraid. I know that we are protected and guided and guarded in every moment of our day. I know for each one of us that we are blessed with divine abundance, that abundance that wells up from within us and expresses through us as giving and receiving. And this divine abundance includes all aspects of life. Our home is beautifully abundant and glorious. Our love life is filled with joy and laughter, intimacy and peace and harmony. And I know that we attract those people to us who lift us into a new way of abundance in our relationships and in our life as a whole. And I speak my word for our Center for Spiritual Living in Redlands, knowing that this center is a divine light shining brightly throughout the universe, attracting all of those who are ready for the message of this truth and ready to be in the company of the divine at all times. I speak my word to know that each one of us is blessed as we move forward into the rest of this day and into the rest of our week. We are lifted up into ease and peacefulness and loving kindness, inclusion, joy, and wholeness. I give thanks for each one of us here this morning. I give thanks for the Center for Spiritual Living and for the philosophy of the science of mind. And I give thanks for the law, that immutable principle that is always present and always says yes. And I give thanks that the words that I have spoken are already manifesting for us to see and touch and experience. And so with this gratitude overflowing, I release these words into the very heart and mind of the infinite, knowing that they are returned to us abundantly and perfectly in time and on time. And in this release, I am so very grateful, joyful, and at peace. And so we can anchor this together as we say, and so it is. Amen.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fail. Let me learn from all the ways I fail. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. 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 Oh, let me share the good that's overflowing. Let me share the good that's overflowing. And let me care for those around the world. Let me care for those around the world. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. And let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way.
And so now that our Sunday experience has concluded, you're invited to join us in the Zoom room by following the links and the instructions that you'll see. So it's simple. Just come on in and say hi. You can turn on your video, you can see others, you can hear others, and check in and connect. We're usually in the Zoom room following our Sunday service for about 30 minutes or so. So come on in, say hello, know that you're never alone. You're always loved. You're always completely sourced, supplied, and maintained by the power and the presence, the love, and the grace of God.